I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I will run through the introductions of those that I see on the line. When I get to the end, if I haven't identified you, could you please identify yourself and your organization that you're representing? So I have myself, Julie Richmond, OCTC Director. We have Ashley Long, Planner for OCTC. In terms of staff, we have Lauren Burns, who is our travel model planner for OCTC, and Jessica Ridgway, who is joining us as assisting us on the transit planning side, as well as Rob Parrington, who is our senior transit planner. And then I will run through the municipal reps. We have Scott Manley from Newburgh, Jay Sheffield from Port Authority, Nicole Farmer from NISDOT, Olu Falarin from MTA, Al Fusco, Alan Sorensen, I'm sorry, is also on the line, Commissioner for Planning, Jack Farr from Port Jervis, Jason Morris from City of Newburgh, Lizzie Phillips from Thruway Authority, Michael Sweeten from Town of Warwick, and Travis Ewald from County DPW. Have I missed anyone?
Hi,
Gary
Sandra Jobson from New York State DOT. Thanks.
Hi, Sandra.
Gary Spears, Town of Deer Park.
Oh, Gary, sorry. I knew you were on the line. Thank you.
No problem.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to opportunity for public comment. At this time, we can provide an opportunity to hear public comments. I don't think we have anyone on the line from the public, so we will move to accept the meeting transcript from December 8th. Can I have a motion?
Second, Mike Sweeten.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
That moves us to the Transportation Improvement Program. Now we'll turn it over to Ashley.
Okay, thanks, Julie. So today we have an administrative modification L, and I was just going to run through it really quickly. So first we have up Lake Drive over Quasake Creek Bridge replacement in the city of Newburgh, and this is adding $850,000 of repurposed earmark funding to the construction phase in 2021. The next project is also in the city of Newburgh, Walsh Road over the Quasake Creek Bridge replacement. This is also adding repurposed earmark funds to construction inspection in 2021. It's adding $2.507 million. These funds are coming from an earmark pin the city of Newburgh was able to repurpose. So next up, we have the ADA accessible sidewalks and ramps in the city of Middletown. They are also adding repurposed earmarked funds in the amount of $32,000. And the next project is the Wallkill Twin Towers Middle School Sidewalk project, which is moving funds from the construction phase in 2022 to the right-of-way incidentals phase in 2021. And the final project in the admin mod is the ADA sidewalks and ramps in Eastern Orange County. This is a DOT project that's adding $50,000 to detailed design in 2021. And this is coming from a DOT offset pin for system repair or rehabilitation of highway infrastructure. So does anyone have any questions about those projects? Okay. As usual, we'll send these out to the project sponsors, and once we get approval, we'll move the action along. But if there's no questions, I will move on to the amendment. So this amendment has two projects in it. The first one is a DOT project. It's adding this new project for Route 9W subsurface and pavement repair to address a recurring depression in the pavement in the town of Newburgh. So this is a project that's coming with an offset from a pin that's on the Mid-Hudson South tip. So that has programmed funds in 21, 22, and 24 construction. And then the second project in this
Can I ask you a
amendment.
question about that one?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
On the 9W depression, is that right at 84, does it say? Is that, I know it's a huge depression.
Hi,
right
it's
there.
Sandra. Yep, that's exactly the location.
Okay, do you know about when that might start or not?
Based on what we have here is, we're going to start investigating it more closely, and do some pavement cores and take a look at it, and then see what's the best solution. And it looks like we're planning to do the actual construction not until 2024.
Okay, thank
But
you. Oh,
yeah, I think there is some flexibility there, but this is really the first step of getting the project on the tip.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. And then the second project in this amendment is to delete the earmark fund, earmark project from the city of Newburgh, improve East End roads. This was the earmark that was used as the offset for the Lake Drive and Walsh Road pins. Does anyone have any questions about any of these projects? Okay, I'm gonna keep moving right along. So next up we have a request from the town of Warwick to reinstate pin 804119, which was a DOT pin for highway reconstruction for Route 94 and County Route 1A. So I will, so this request, Mike, I don't know if you want me to explain it or if you'd like to explain it.
Yeah, I can. So this is this project had a long, storied, agonizing history. It was part of a project originally back when they were doing sort of earmarks, but direction by state legislature to put in a light and a turning lane on Route 94 where it intersects with County Route 1. And at the time, DOT said we only had enough money for the light, so they put the light in, didn't put the turning lane in, and that was fine. We worked to get it on the tip originally, and then it didn't go anywhere. And finally, Rich Peters said, I think the state can do this project, and it became a state project. It was on the tip in 2014. And then, we all know what happened in 08, 09, and then when DOT decided they couldn't do a new projects, they only had to do maintenance, it just went into oblivion. And it's one of the gateways into Orange County because it is the road that leads from New Jersey. When traffic is heading north on 94, it literally backs up from that light if someone's going to make a left-hand turn all the way down past the commercial area, which has to be at least 1.5 miles, maybe longer. And then it has issues obviously at peak travel times as well. And so I had requested back in 19 to see if we could get the DOT to reinstitute it with potential funds that we had in this block money that we pushed out. And they looked at it, they came up with a rough estimate. Sandra's group was helpful in getting some information. And now I'd like to get it actually on there if I can. And it seems like it's eligible for large urban and or CMAQ. So with the money that's out in 2023, 2024, I'd like the council to allocate that money for the project. It would be a DOT project, Sandra, I would assume still.
Yep, we're still here to, if you can secure the funding to do the engineering and to let the contract.
So again, I think it benefits not just us, because it is a local, frustration point, but it also would help traffic coming in, especially with Legoland opening. We're going to see a lot of traffic coming up in that direction. So I'd ask the council to consider that.
Okay. So I'm just going to go over the block pin funding. So I believe the requested amount is about $2.75 million, and DOT seemed to indicate that it was eligible for CMAQ and for the large urban funding. So as you can see on the block pins on the screen, in the CMAQ pin, there's 3.7 million in 2024, and then there's 0.964 in both 23 and 24. So in 24 alone, there's over $5 million, and this project is asking for about 2.75. Does anyone have any?
I'd just like to, well, the only thing I'd like to add is 24 might be more realistic for delivery, because I'm sure it's going to need right of way. So I just want to throw that out there.
I'm okay with 2024 as long as we can get a firm commitment to, just keep the project on the tip.
Okay. Does anyone have any thoughts? Everyone's very quiet today.
Well, do we have general consensus or in favor of this?
I have no exception on putting it back on the tip. Mike's been very instrumental in getting a lot of things done on this. So I think we definitely need to look towards to try to do some help over that way. Like I said, especially with Legoland going to be opening soon, you're definitely going to see a lot of influx of traffic.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with that also.
Okay, great. It sounds like people are in favor of this project, so unless I hear otherwise, I'm going to draft the ballot, because it will have to be added in back onto the tip as a new project, I believe. And so we'll draft the ballot and send it out for review, and unless I hear otherwise, we can put it out for public comment, and it could be voted on at the next policy committee meeting, which is March 2nd. So,
All right, thank
any
you.
other thoughts? No, thank you. Okay, so we'll proceed that way. If anyone has any comments, please just let us know. So, moving right along. So we actually have a second request for funding. It's from the Dutchess County Transportation Council, and they have a project a local bridge project that is looking for off-system bridge funding and in 2021, and they just put out the ask if anyone had any funding in 2021 that we might be able to share with them. So currently, I'll just point out that we have $247,000 in 2021, and the only two projects on our TIP currently are in the city of Newburgh, the Lake Drive and the Walsh Road bridges, which both just received the repurpose earmarks. So Dutchess County is proposing, if we're able to transfer over the 2021 funds to them, they would be able to make us whole again in 2024. They have a block of large urban funding, or potentially with the TIP update, if we were looking for 2023 funds, they could pay us, or repay us in off-system bridge funding. But I would say that it seems that the committee, the local projects in Orange County use a lot more of the large urban funding, so it might be more beneficial to use the large urban funding if people are okay with this request. Does anyone have any thoughts or comments? Jason, I know these are your projects. They're the only ones eligible on the TIP for these funds right now.
Yeah, based upon the transfer we just discussed from the unused earmark funds into these two projects, I don't anticipate any additional funds needed at this time for these two projects. Assuming that the Lake Street Bridge, which is not shown on here, is a separate pot of money. That's the New York Bridge Grant. That's
Yes.
I assume that's unaffected by, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ashley, what happens to this money if we don't let them borrow it? Do we lose it?
Right, that's a good question, Jack. Yeah, so we would not be using it. So, yeah, we would effectively just not be using the funds that are on our tip, and it would not be benefiting anyone at this point.
So as long as we're going to get this money back, I mean, I think no harm, no foul right now, I would think, if we're going to let them essentially borrow the money and make it whole again in the next couple of years. I mean, it's better let somebody use it and get our structures up and going instead of wasting the money and not using it at all.
I agree with Jack. I support that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do also.
Okay, great. Well, I'll let DCTC know, and if anyone has any comments in the next day or two, just let me know. But otherwise, we'll let them know, and we can move that through too. So, okay. Does anyone have any questions on any of the tip items we've talked about? Okay. I think just moving right along, we can just move into local project sponsor updates if anyone has any updates they'd like to share.
This is Bike Street, and so the bike hike project is going out to bid, and I know DOT wants us to accept those bids on the before the 22nd of February. We intend to do that, and then that project will proceed.
Great. Anyone else?
Any updates?
Jason again from City of Newburgh. On the Lake Drive Bridge, we're actually having the structure delivered to the bridge construction site next week. The footings have been poured, all the piles are in place, and the structure is coming next week. So that's a big step for us for that project. The Walsh Road Bridge is currently in final design. The PSE&E package will be delivered to DOT in about 2 weeks. So that is moving along for an anticipated bid for construction this year. And the Lake Street Bridge is advertised for bid. The advertisement goes out next week. So that will also be awarded by the spring for construction.
Great, thanks, Jason.
Ashley, this is Travis.
Hi, Travis.
How's it going? So Otisville Viaduct, which is our Bridge New York project, we received detailed design approval, and we're still aiming for going to construction late 2021. And the pedestrian safety improvements project, PSAPs, we're still waiting for detailed design approval on that, and we're hopeful that'll go to construction this year as well.
Okay, great, thanks. Is there anyone else? Okay. I think just moving right along, there were no items under old business unless anyone had anything they'd like to bring up. Otherwise, I will move right into new business. So
Ashley,
go ahead.
sorry. Did you want to do the STIP performance update now?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I skipped right over that. Just moving right along. Thanks, Julie. I was actually going to ask Sandra if she could maybe go over the STIP performance report that we just got.
Well, I don't have the figures right in front of me, Ashley. I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. You don't want to go over it. How about if I give the big picture scoop on STIP performance?
Sure, yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So each year over the past few years, what FHWA has been doing is at the beginning of each federal fiscal year, they basically take what we refer to as a snapshot of all the projects that have a construction phase in that particular federal fiscal year. So for example, they did that last, not this fall, but the previous fall in 2019. And at the conclusion of the federal fiscal year, they'll take a look at, okay, well, you said you were going to obligate, let's say, 10 construction projects. And maybe you only did 8 because 2 of them had to be pushed into the next year. So they, consider that basically, 80%. It's pretty straightforward and simple the way it's calculated. But unfortunately, over the years, everyone's been kind of struggling with that. But just this past year, Ashley, do you have the numbers in front? Because I know regionally, we did hit 50%. And I think for the first time, we were out of the red, which was a pretty big accomplishment. I mean, it doesn't, but each of the individual MPOs had their own calculation. Do you happen to know what yours was on delivery?
For the amended and the unamended, I have both of them. They're on the screen.
Okay. The more important one is the unamended.
Okay.
So what was your performance for unamended in 2020?
So percent construction projects obligated for OCTC, it was, let's see, 54.5% by
Okay,
number.
so right. So they will, what they're looking at is money spent, but also number of projects. So as far as the money went, we were at 54%. What were you for number of projects delivered?
Sorry, that was actually 54.5% is by number and 66.3 is by cost.
Was by cost. Awesome. So sometimes what happens with cost is we kind of get lucky in a sense because maybe other projects went up in cost that went to construction. So that actually helps you on the cost category. So that's why the two numbers are usually slightly different. And we do typically do better in cost than sometimes necessarily number of projects, because for very good reasons, sometimes projects need, to be delayed, don't happen. So those were, they don't sound like great numbers, but we've been on a really good trend regionally, the upward trend. So let's hope we keep that going. Ashley, I did send you our snapshot for federal fiscal year 21, what we're in right now. So you might want to share that snapshot with the members so they kind of see how, what projects we would really like to get to construction this year to help with this performance.
Sure, yeah, we can send that out to members after the meeting.
Okay.
No problem.
Perfect. How's that? Anyone have any questions?
I think just as a reminder, a couple of years ago, we were definitely in the red, and I think we were at 6 or 8%. It was something pretty low. So we've really improved a lot for STIP performance. So, okay. No one has any questions on that. I will actually move on to old business now. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share or bring up? Okay. I'm going to move right into new business, and so this is the UPWP. So our new federal funding estimates for the 21-22 UPWP program are approximately $713,000, which is about $4,000 less than our estimates last year. So we're basically, it's flat funding. And so our total program estimate, including our new estimate, the whole entire program comes to about $3.6 million. And so we have a lot of ongoing tasks that staff carry out throughout the years, administration tasks, and then other just work tasks such as non-motorized planning or activities, or complete streets planning and activities, and safety work that's done. So that's all in the draft UPWP, which was shared, but today I'm going to go over specifically some of the new tasks that were added in, just so everyone's on the same page with those. So the first task is a Unified Planning Work Program task, but what it does is specifically breaks out work done on the UPWP itself, so the development of the new UPWP or any amendments that might happen or any work that needs to occur would now go into this task specific to the UPWP. The next task that's new to this UPWP is data collection and compilation. We have been performing this work in previous years, obviously, but this task will help break out the staff work being done and help us track it a little better, and is more specific to, what exactly staff's working on, and this would include things like the park and ride lot utilization counts, looking at bike ped counts, which we just completed, sidewalk connectivity and rating, other crash data, and anyway, so we're looking at just breaking out that task for more specific work. Next up is the bicycle and pedestrian plan. So our bike and ped plan is fairly dated at this point. So this task is to break out the plan specifically, and this is for staff efforts in researching and preparing for potentially going out for a consultant-supported plan in the next UPWP. So this would include scoping potentially the task out. This is kind of preparation for a bike ped consultant-supported plan. The next task is the sidewalk district feasibility study. So this task is actually the result of the cooperative community program, the call for projects that we did earlier. We received 3 applications, all from the city of Newburgh, and the one that was chosen was a sidewalk district feasibility study. So this consultant-supported study aims to look at the feasibility of the creation of the sidewalk district in the city of Newburgh. So we'll be scoping and working with the city on that project, and then going out to bid this year. Does anyone have any questions on any of those tasks so far? Okay. The next new task is a state and regional transportation liaison. So this task supports our planning efforts for statewide planning and research projects, as well as efforts to coordinate with the Metropolitan Area Planning Forum, or the MAP Forum, of which OCTC is a member. So this is the MAP Forum particularly, is a consortium of multiple MPOs across multiple states, and so they're sharing their work and coordinating on things like regional freight and other efforts. So this task captures that work, as well as any work that's, going towards efforts to participate in statewide planning and research projects that affect our area. And so then the next new task is a new corridor study for the New York State Route 17M and US Route 6. So this is a consultant-supported study that would be scoped out and put out to bid this year. So it's a cooperative planning effort to look at this corridor from the town of Chester to the town of Wallkill. And so the corridor is continuing to undergo development, and this includes large-scale projects. And so the purpose and the goal of the study is to assist municipalities in the study area in balancing and managing future development, growth, and transportation needs along the corridor. So there will be a needs assessment of existing and future transportation conditions, and then ultimately there will be recommendations for transportation infrastructure improvements. And then the objectives are also listed in this task. So that will be upcoming in the year. That's another larger study, so that's going to be a bigger effort. Does anyone have any questions on either of these tasks? Okay. And then the final 2 tasks that are new to this this UPWP are electric vehicle assistance. This task was actually in a previous UPWP, but we've brought it back in. We anticipate more staff efforts to provide guidance to local governments that wish to take action and implement electric vehicle deployment in their areas. So staff is going to provide recommendations and best practices to any municipalities that are interested in getting this electric vehicle infrastructure kind of jump-started. And then the final new task for the UPWP is a general planning consultant services. So this task is a transportation consultant task. So it would be kind of like a consultant that would be available for smaller tasks, not specific studies or anything. It would be for kind of smaller work to assist staff and bring in technical expertise for planning activities, transportation planning activities. So the consultant would be under contract for a year, and we would see how that works out with them. So does anyone have any questions about any of the tasks listed here or any of the tasks listed in the draft UPWP? Okay. This will go out for public comment before the March 2nd meeting, and will be on the agenda for adoption on March 2nd. If no one has any comments or questions, we'll move right along to the air quality conformity determination, which Lauren is actually going to speak about.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Good, you're good.
All right. So Orange County is in the Poughkeepsie, New York ozone non-attainment area, also known as PONA, and the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut PM 2.5 maintenance area with NIMTIC. So EPA requires that transportation air quality conformity be demonstrated by an MPO in a non-attainment or maintenance area whenever transportation projects are programmed that may significantly impact air quality. NIMTIC is amending their TIP, and as such, they're triggering the conformity determination for PM 2.5. The New York State Interagency Consultation Group, also known as the ICG, concurred on January 12th, 2021, that the amendment does not affect the PONA area and therefore does not necessitate a new conformity determination. So the PONA conformity determination adopted on November 19th, 2019 remains valid. So there are no new or significantly changed non-exempt projects added to the OCTC TIP or LRTP. And so we'll be relying on previous regional emissions analysis that was completed in 2017. The conformity determination is currently being reviewed by the ICG and will go out for 30 days of public comment starting on January 27th, and it will be posted online and sent to the OCTC contact list. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, hearing none. Thanks, Ashley.
Yep, thank you, Lauren. Okay, there are no questions for Lauren. I think we can move into staff reports. Julie, I know you had some reports you wanted to update on, so.
I'll give some quick updates. So we are updating the UPWP. One thing you may notice when you look at it is the Mid-Hudson TMA Regional Transit Study. The study itself will be coming off the UPWP because we finished that. That was completed in December. But the regional transit planning, a category will remain on, of course, for implementation and collaboration with the TMA. Hopefully you all had a chance to participate in the public meeting summary that we had in December for the regional transit study. The final completed draft is now posted on the project website. So you can go there and view it at your convenience. And I believe we may have the recorded meeting on there as well. if you were not able to attend that. As far as our West Central study that is still ongoing, the West Central Land Use Study, we also had a meeting on that study in December. We had I believe, the third study advisory group meeting, and there was a lot of information covered. We didn't get the best attendance, but I also think we were, there was a snowstorm pending. So I think a lot of people may have been preoccupied with that, but I do believe we circulated the recording of that meeting to the SAG members. And I don't know if we distributed it to the entire OCTC member list, but if there's anyone interested in obtaining that, just let Ashley know and we can get that to you. That is not necessarily posted on, there's a quick summary of the SAG meeting posted on the project website, but the meeting itself is not. Two other things, I guess I just wanted to provide a quick update on our transit subcommittee, which you've probably heard me talking about many times in the past. We kind of established the organization of it in last year, I think it was, or maybe even before that. But we are sort of memorializing it, and it's kind of evolving, and we're going to make it a formal subcommittee of OCTC. We're going to be amending our operating procedures in the near future to address the creation of subcommittees. So that subcommittee will actually become a subcommittee of OCTC, and there'll be a reporting mechanism. So if you're not necessarily on the transit subcommittee itself participating in that, because it does get into great detail and projects and implementation of the transit goals that were outlined in the transportation comprehensive plan, as well as the long range transportation plan. So I think we had a meeting, we had a transit subcommittee meeting early this year, a couple of weeks ago in January 2021. We will be sending a summary of that meeting. And I believe we can, again, we'll expand the distribution of the meeting minutes to the entire OCTC member list. If there's anyone who is not currently sitting on that transit subcommittee and is interested in participating, feel free to let us know. We're trying to sort of expand the involvement. We also have a presence for the transit subcommittee on the OCTC website now. And we will, I think sort of the plan moving forward is we're going to try to have those meetings quarterly or roughly quarterly. And I think the planning meeting following the transit subcommittee meeting will actually have a spot on the agenda for someone to provide an update on that transit subcommittee meeting. And then there's just one other thing. I just wanted to give the members an update. I'm going to be, or a heads up rather, I'm going to be sending out an email, which is kind of a little bit of a survey. I've been working with FHWA on collaborating with NISDOT on providing a series of training modules for preliminary cost estimating. NISDOT has a preliminary cost estimating tool. It's called PSET, and we are trying to set up training. So my questions to the members are really very brief. I'm going to send out a YouTube video that shows sort of a sample of the training. And the questions I have for the members are, what time of the year would the training make the most sense? I would imagine not during the construction season. Who would the target participants be? Would it be your engineers, your consultants? There's different types of training. We can target the training towards engineers. We can target the training also towards municipal officials. There's different levels of training we can provide, depending on who the targeted recipients are. And then the question would be what delivery methods might be preferred, and just kind of a general overview of the tool. So I will be sending that email out following this meeting. And if you could just get back to me with your potential interest and how many participants you think you might have available to participate. And there's no cost involved to this training. So I believe that is all I have on new business. Or old business too.
Great. I think the only other item is to save the date for the policy committee meeting. That's going to be March 2nd, 2021 at 1 p.m. So I'll send the save the date for that meeting. So does anyone else have any other member reports they'd like to give? Okay. Hearing none, Julie, it seems like we can adjourn.
Yes, I guess I will call an adjournment of this meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
good
you.
day.
Have a good day.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.